Be strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Hi, I'm Susie Smith from Commit to be Fit on BPTV. I'm here today with my producer and friend and co-host, Susan Roberti. We're from BPTV, and we're here to talk about new beginnings. That's why I like the change of seasons so much. It's a chance for a new beginning, and we're going to talk about that today and how my life has changed, I guess, since I have had my show on BPTV. So how are you doing today, Suze?
Wonderful, and I'm so glad to see you. We
I'm so
never
glad to
get
see-
to be with
I
each other
know.
unless we do a show.
Well, that's good. We
Yes,
need to do
yes,
shows
yes,
so that
yes.
we can hang out.
Yeah. And I have some questions that I'm going to be asking Susie. And I hope this show, even if there's just one person out there that steps out. And Susie and I have talked about this so often, about just stepping out at different ages and to do something really different and totally surprise yourself. And when you're driving home from it and you go, I did that. I really did that. You know,
It's such a feeling. It's
yeah. It really makes you feel secure about your age. You know, because we're getting older and we can still do those things. So, why should we listen to Susie?
Well, I have a show called Commit to be Fit, and you should listen to me, first of all, because I know what I'm doing. And I'm not saying this with any kind of an ego or anything. It's just that I've been around the block for 3 decades working on fitness. In those last 30 years, I've either participated, taught, or competed in just about any type of fitness that there is. And the reason you should listen to me is because I'm not 20 years old trying to sell wrinkle cream, and I'm not a size 2 trying to push diet products. In fact, I'm not selling anything. I have nothing to sell you. Only good health, and it's free. You don't have to go to a gym. You can be in your 60s. I'm 62. My friend Susie's here, and
You're 67.
67, and we're just rocking it. You know, we're just doing what we can do and trying new things all the time. And it's not about being 20 years old and selling wrinkle cream. I really hate that.
I know.
You know, it's just so not real.
I know. And we don't. Wait, I'm getting old. I got to put my glasses back on. Okay. I strive to be better.
Strive to be better. Well, that's one of my things. Every day, I don't compete against anyone anymore. You know, I was a competitive bodybuilder and power lifter for many years, lived on the West Coast and did all that. But I compete with myself. So every day I try to do something to improve on. Like maybe it might be getting stronger. It might be just making myself drink more water because that's a tough one. Or just maybe walking 10 minutes longer, just something every day. Try to improve on yourself.
What do you feel about walking? I mean, what is your gut instinct about walking? About how good it is, or
I think it's probably the purest and best workout that there is. I honestly do. I love just about every type of fitness, but walking will align your body back in. If your back's out and you just, you know, sit down, you're going to tighten up. But if you walk, that repetitive motion with the legs, same as bicycling, I think it's just a wonderful thing to do.
Susie goes bike riding, and sometimes she does 22 miles. And
Oh yeah, I like to bike.
yeah, she gets rolling.
I like to bicycle.
Yeah.
Love to walk though too.
This one I love. How come you don't like the fitness industry?
Oh.
Where it's gone to?
Well, when, you know, it sounds kind of different for me to say I don't like the fitness industry because I am part of the fitness industry and I have been for a long time. But I've kind of branched out on my own, and I think it's okay to go to gyms, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. You don't need to go to a gym to get a good exercise program. But what they've been doing lately is they've been militarizing just about all of our workouts, anything from weightlifting to yoga. I mean, we have classes out there that are boot camp yoga, and that's not what it's supposed to be. And what I find happening is that people who are obviously beginners that have not been active for quite a while, they're going to these group classes, and I don't want to name any of the classes, but there's some really hardcore ones out there right now that are not for beginners, and they have beginners, jumping on boxes, creating knee problems, and it's just like building a house. If you're going to build a house, you have to start with a foundation. You cannot just jump into these classes. And of course, like everything, it's all about money. It's all about, you're going to sign up.
There it is, the magic. There it is.
That's it. The bottom line is money. And so you have to really weigh these things out. The fitness industry has just tried to beat people up. I'll beat you up for free. You don't have to go to a gym. Just call me.
But it's frightening.
It
The
is.
things that these youngsters are doing, it's just frightening. I realize they get toned and they get all this kind of stuff. But, after you get to be 50, 55, 60, over 65, and you keep turning TV on and you keep seeing that over and over again, and you think, gee, maybe I could try that or do, and it's insane.
In fact, some of the names, they use are words like insanity or, aggression or military.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want to do. We want to be as strong as we possibly can, but we have to start at with a healthy program. And just, that's why I don't like the fitness industry. I don't think they really individualize programs so much anymore. I see personal trainers, which I'm a certified personal trainer, but I see personal trainers just doing cookie cutter workouts when I go to the gym. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's body's not the same.
No, it's not. And if you're a personal trainer, I think you should be able to stop and go over to someone and say, maybe you should be doing this way, or when you go home this evening, maybe if you would try this, but that's money. That costs money.
That costs money, and they're not going to give you information for free, which is why you should watch Commit to Be Fit, because what I don't know, I will bring somebody on. I've had wonderful guests. If no one knows everything about fitness, whether they may tell you they do, but they don't. So I like to bring on people like yourself that is a walker, and Susie walks, and she can tell you all about the benefits of walking and how great it makes you feel.
Yeah, and the nice part of it is that you meet nice people. And when you walk past someone and you say hello, their heads come up, and you say, gee, this isn't a nice day, or your puppy is really cute. And then sometimes you yak for like a few minutes with somebody and then you move on. But it's really, at 67, it's very nice just to go walking.
And you shouldn't be made to feel guilty. And I think that's a lot what these commercials do, the infomercials, and they want to, 95% of the female population wants to be like 5%. There's a 5% that they put in Hollywood, and they don't even look like they look. It's all Photoshop and everything else. But they're, trying to sell this to the public when really you can just walk.
Yeah.
Or you can be yourself. You can weigh 180 pounds. You can weigh 120 pounds. We're all different. We're not going to be the same. And that's what the beauty is of life, is that the diversity.
Wouldn't it be boring if we all were built the same?
I wouldn't want to sit here and look at you looking just like me.
No.
It'd be boring.
Yeah, wouldn't it be boring? It really would. And this one you can really talk about is your variety of guests on your show, because you really do a fabulous fabulous job
Oh,
finding
thank
your
you. That is so nice of
finding
you to
your
say.
guests. You really do. And everyone has to remember that this is all a volunteer.
Nobody's making money here. This is all volunteer.
Yes.
That's the super thing about
Yes, and
BPTV.
Susie's guests, she meets and invites them to come, and they come and volunteer their time. So go at it, girl.
Well, I handpicked these people because I want to give my audience as much free exposure to the fitness world, and not just physically fit, but mentally fit, because we all deal with depression at different times in our lives, and exercise just kicks up those endorphins. And in fact, the beginning of the year, I brought on Paul Tripoli, who is an addiction counselor, and we addressed that. We addressed drug addiction and alcohol addiction and how exercise could help that. And then midway through the spring, I was in a mud run, which I'd never done before.
And I thought that was so precious.
And just, tried to, I was the oldest woman ever to do it, but I tried to give it my all. And
She was the first at something, huh?
yeah, and then Bonnie Diver came on with Hairpiece and talking about breast cancer. So it's just been, and then I've had a couple friends come on and just exercise. But it's just all honest, and it's all good people. And I will handpick these people and bring them on so that you can just see what real fitness is. It's not what they're
And then
telling
one
you.
time she actually stopped the car and got out and went in one of those.
Oh, in a martial arts academy, and I said, "You're coming on a show," and he said, "Okay." So I'm a little pushy sometimes.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, she's talking to me on the phone, and she says, "Oh, wait a minute."
But I got to
I'll
pull
call you."
over.
And she called me back like, "Oh, he said he's come on," and see, this is stepping out.
This is what we're talking about today, is stepping out. Just like you're saying, try something new. I would never, ever, ever, ever in a million years wanted to be on a TV show. This woman was helping me with our Pets for US Vets program, which allows our local veterans to adopt at no charge at the Washington Area Humane
Which
Society,
this lady created.
and which this lady helped me promote. So we've been working on this as a team. And then Susie asked me to do a fitness show because she knows how much and how long I've been into this. And I
And
tell
she
you,
said, "Are you crazy?"
and I knew she was crazy at that point. But it's been the best thing for me. It has really, thank you,
You're welcome.
because it's really changed my life. The time that you asked me, I was in the middle of putting that dog party together. My coonhound Levi, the love of my life, passed away. My best friend, my dad, passed away. I was in really bad shape, and I was suffering from panic attacks. And Susie said, just get out there and just start telling people the truth about fitness, and pretty much
Yeah.
that's what it's been.
And she kept saying, "Oh, I don't know." And the first time she did it, I knew. And you go through a time, and I said, "This is going to happen. You'll have these feelings, and then you'll have these feelings. But if you just take another step and do another show," and she did. And I knew from the first day I ever saw her, she just had this light, this little glow around her. And I said to Dave, our executive director, I said, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm going to invite Susie to come on and, for BPTV and
Wow.
for exercising."
Amazing.
And he said, "Sure." And I just knew. And the people that you find and the way you bring it with such honesty and love, and you can watch you, and I know that people feel like I do, that you genuinely want to love them and to have them do this because it's going to work. It's really going to make you feel better.
If I didn't think it would work, I wouldn't tell you about it. It's something that I've done. I've not just read about it or hoped to do this. I've actually done it, and I'll continue.
That's the beauty of it.
And the thing is, the message I really, really want to get across today, and especially to women, is that we don't need all that. We do not need all that. We don't need to look like that 2% of people who really don't look like that anyway. We're normal people. We're going to have fat. We're going to have, after a certain age, you're going to have some gravitational stuff. You're
Yeah.
going to get,
And you get thicker.
And you
I
get
found
thicker.
that I got,
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's
you just
okay.
did,
That's
yeah.
the whole thing. It's okay. And all we're going to do is just improve on ourselves.
And keep ourselves healthy.
And find a good friend like I have in Susie that you can talk with back and forth. Women need that. We need to have a buddy that we can share things that we're going through at this time in our lives.
It's true. It really is. And Susie's been with us for, what, 2.5 years now? You've been doing your shows?
I can't believe it.
Yeah. And she just is the dearest and honest. And I'm not saying this because she's here.
Sometimes too honest.
I'd say it behind her back, in front of her back, beside her. But BPTV has been very, very fortunate to have you come be a part of our family. And I know in my heart of hearts that you are doing a very, very special thing. And feel that and know that every day, because truly you are.
Well, you're my example from your show, Let's Talk Tail Waggers, that Susie hosts. It's just such a great, honest show about pet care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where she's my mentor, because I've never, been a TV personality before.
And now she is.
And I've had to work through so many things, though. Just, when you watch yourself on TV.
Oh, please. We
Oh,
won't
please.
even go there.
That's been a struggle.
Yes, every show she calls me up and says, "Oh, did you see my fat roll? Oh, did you see my ear lips?"
My last show, my head was bob, and I was a
Yeah.
bobblehead. Remember?
See, this is what we're saying. We have things that we have to accept about ourselves.
We do.
And we're getting older.
Mhm.
And by the time we're done, we're laughing so hard that I say to you, Susie, all the beautiful and wonderful things you're doing, who cares?
Exactly.
People just love you for who you are.
And that's the message that we want to get out to women today. You just have to accept yourself.
As you are. And mental health benefits with exercise.
Oh my gosh, the mental health benefits. Like I told you, when I got on this show, I had lost my dad, and that was just devastating to me. But having to show up and prepare a show and get here and present it to the public kept my mind busy. And
yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I could see her from the first, because Susie and I did several shows for Pets for U.S. Vets.
Mhm.
And then when she was starting to do her shows, and I could just see her, because the grief that you had about your father was, as all of us, love our daddies, girls especially, but to see you kind of think of him being with you now
Mhm.
instead of being away from you.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and you're exercising on TV makes you feel better because you're going to help somebody.
And that's all it's about. I just want to help people and show you that there aren't any shortcuts. There's no pill that you're going to take it may make you lose weight for 3 months, or you might take steroids and you might get strong for 6 months, but it's all going to go away. And hopefully you're still going to age. You're not going to kill yourself with your diet or whatever, because there's so much beauty in getting older
There is.
that people don't realize.
Oh,
So,
there is. But that's a good thing that you said about eating, because there's eating and then there's eating.
mhm.
And all this Nutrisystem and all that kind of stuff, that's fine and glorious and wonderful. But
Short term.
At the end of the road,
Yeah.
It isn't. You have to eat good stuff.
Yeah.
The good food. And say, I'll eat you in 6 weeks to the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
Put it
And-
out of your head.
Yeah, just put it out of your head. Or say, I'll eat you in 6 weeks, and then you don't feel deprived.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it. But yeah, we just,
Oh, and
Just want to-
energy begets energy.
if you sit around all day,
This is one of her favorites.
yeah, this is my favorite. If you sit around all day, in fact, I'm going to show you 3 exercises at the end of the show to help get you started. If you've been sedentary and through no fault of your own, you've had to sit, your hip flexors will tighten up, which is right here because your leg's always bent, and then it pulls at your back. Now the more you sit, the more you're going to want to sit, because your body just loses energy. It drains out of you. But if you force yourself to get up and just start walking, then actual energy will build inside of you. I really can't, I don't have time to explain like energy pathway systems today, but it's really involved. But if you get up and walk, you're going to want to walk. You're going to have the energy to walk a little further next time. So
yeah, each step, and have a goal. The sign down at the stop sign at the end of the road, you know, from your house, or things like that. Now, we're not saying that people that can't walk, you know, but maybe if you had a family member that could just take you outside for fresh air, you know.
If you have someone like that in your family, don't let them sit constantly. Get them up, whether it's an elderly person or disabled. And then on the other hand, I do have friends in wheelchairs that exercise, which I hope to bring someone on sometime. If you can't walk, you can still improve your overall mental health and your upper body strength, and there's
because you matter.
You matter. You got to take care of yourself.
And whether you're in a wheelchair or you're 80 years old or whatever, you matter. And
we love you.
And we love you. And if you just take that little bit of time for yourself and say, I matter. And if you're, like I said, 80 years old and you're slow or whatever, but you matter.
That's a good point to bring up, because everybody does matter. And I just think it's sad that some people feel that they don't matter. But I can guarantee you, if you're feeling that way, if you get up right now and just go take a little walk, all the endorphins are going to kick up in your brain. You're going to feel so much better. So please get moving.
And try. Questions to ask at the doctor's office.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up, because I find that with especially older people, and they view the doctor as an authority figure. Women have been brought up, at least in our age group, that men were in charge. And we're all in charge. But when we were brought up, men were the authority. And people are afraid to question, like when they go to the doctors, maybe your mom or your grandma, you're at the doctor's with, they will act like they know what the doctor's talking about, because they don't want to feel stupid. They don't want to take up the doctor's time. He's authority. You're there to take up the doctor's time. If you don't understand and he starts talking about cholesterol and you don't know what that is, don't feel ashamed to ask, because that's why they're there.
Guess what? It's time for you to exercise.
Okay, today I want to show you just 3 really basic things that you should do if you've been inactive for a while. Now, you've been sitting in a chair or sitting on the couch. What I want you to do is start to strengthen your legs by just, during the day, put your feet out a little from the chair and just stand up. And then just sit down. And I want you to do this over and over, about 10 times. And breathe while you're doing it. Exhale. Inhale. And just, you'll notice over the weeks, if you just do this a few times, maybe if you're seated and you're watching television during the commercial, you might want to stand up and down about 10 times. Okay, and another thing to do, that's going to strengthen your quads, and it's also going to strengthen your glutes. So you're coming up and you're squeezing, and then you sit back down. And another thing that's going to help you, if you've been inactive, and even for regular exercising people, torso rotation is extremely important. You cannot do your basic functions if you don't have torso rotation. So just sit sideways on your chair, and you'll put your feet together and sit really tall. Now I'm going to put my left hand on the back, and I'm going to put my right hand on the other side. I'm going to keep my knees together and inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to pull with my right hand on the chair, and I'm going to pull with my left hand and push with my right hand. So as I exhale, I'm pulling and I'm looking around my shoulder, and it's forcing me into torso rotation. And I'm going to hold that, inhale a little more, Exhale, twist just a little more and hold. And then I'll come back around. Because if you can't turn to the side, you'll notice that you're going to lose a lot of your basic movements that you need just to get through life. So you want to keep up with torso rotation. So this time my right hand goes on, left hand. I'll inhale, put my knees together, and as I exhale, I'm going to push with this hand and pull with this hand, and that's going to enable me to twist. And I can feel my back popping right now. It's such a good feeling to go into torso rotation. And you can let off a little and then exhale and go a little bit further. Keep your shoulders down. And then come back to center. And one last exercise is for your hip flexors. So you can always use a chair for balance. What I want you to do is just stand nice and tall, put one foot back, and here's that hip flexor. And this thing gets so tight from seated position. So you just want to take it back and just square your hips up to a wall in front of you and just stretch that hip flexor, and you're going to feel so much better, because there's a constant struggle between your hip flexors and your low back. So if you sit for a long time, you're stretching out these low back muscles, and then when you get up, boy, is that going to be sore. So that's about it for these 3 exercises, and we're going to have a seat, bring my pal back in. And yeah, and I just want to tell you that that's all it is. Please get started. These 3 exercises will help you get out of a chair and start getting active again. So what do you think, Suze?
Well, I think it was a wonderful show, like always.
Well, I had a nice time.
And I think the information that you get, I always want to praise you and always make you feel very, very important to us.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because your show is wonderful. And these things today that we talked about in these exercises, they seem to some people small, but they're not. They're very, very important.
And it is the minutia that's important. Like people, they get the big picture and they want to jump into these big classes, but it's the small things that you need to know so that you can build on. So I guess what we want to say is just, we want you to start moving and stay healthy and take the challenge and commit to be fit.